For the next few minutes, you are about to discover why a simple, mustached plumber running and jumping on pixelated platforms didn't just become famous, but actually rewrote the rules of video games forever. Because in the next 30 seconds, you will hear how Super Mario Bros. Saved the gaming industry after its biggest crash, how it secretly taught millions of players how to play without using words, how it created rules that almost every modern game still follows today, and how a game that looks innocent and colorful completely reshaped creativity, level design, and even the way our brains understand challenge and reward. So stay until the end, because what seems like a childhood memory is actually one of the most important cultural revolutions in entertainment history. At first glance, Super Mario Bros. Looks almost too simple to be revolutionary because it shows a small character running from left to right, jumping over enemies, collecting coins, and rescuing a princess, yet behind this apparent simplicity hides a design genius so powerful that it turned video games from a dying trend into a global obsession that still dominates the world today. When Super Mario Bros. Launched in the mid-1980s, the video game industry was in chaos. Shelves were full of bad games, players had lost trust, and many believed gaming was just a short-lived fad. But Nintendo quietly placed a cartridge inside a small gray console and changed everything without making a single loud promise. One of the most brilliant and underrated reasons Super Mario Bros. Changed gaming forever is that it taught players how to play without ever explaining itself. Because the first level, now legendary as World 1-to-1, is essentially a masterclass in silent education, where every enemy placement, every block, and every gap exists for a reason, guiding the player step by step, rewarding curiosity, and gently punishing mistakes without frustration, creating a learning curve so smooth that players didn't even realize they were being trained. This approach became the foundation of modern game design, proving that great games don't lecture players, they guide them naturally. Another massive shift created by Super Mario Bros. Was the idea that movement itself could be fun, because before Mario, many games focused heavily on score chasing or simple mechanics. But Mario introduced momentum physics and precise control, making the act of running and jumping feel satisfying on its own, which sounds obvious today, but was absolutely revolutionary at the time. Suddenly, players weren't just reacting to enemies, they were mastering movement, experimenting with speed, timing, and flow, unknowingly experiencing one of the earliest examples of what we now call skill-based gameplay. Super Mario Bros. Also quietly introduced the concept of progression that feels meaningful rather than repetitive, because instead of looping the same screen endlessly, the game pushed players forward into new worlds, new environments, and new challenges, creating a sense of journey that made players feel like they were advancing through an actual adventure. This forward momentum gave gaming a narrative rhythm even without deep storytelling, teaching developers that emotional engagement doesn't always need words, cutscenes, or dialogue, but can exist purely through structure and pacing. The impact of Super Mario Bros. Goes even deeper when you realize how it balanced difficulty in a way that kept players hooked instead of frustrated, because the game was challenging but fair, punishing mistakes but always making players believe they could do better next time, creating that irresistible loop of just one more try that still defines gaming addiction today. This balance between challenge and reward became a blueprint copied by countless franchises. From platformers to action games to modern indie hits, visually, Super Mario Bros. Proved that limitations could inspire creativity rather than restrict it, because with minimal colors, simple shapes, and basic animations, the game managed to create instantly recognizable characters, worlds, and symbols that remain iconic. Decades later, the mushroom, the star, the fireflower, and even the humble Goomba became universal gaming language, showing that strong visual identity doesn't require realism, only clarity and imagination. Sound design also played a crucial role in why Super Mario Bros. Changed gaming forever, because its music wasn't just background noise but an emotional guide that reacted to gameplay, speeding up when time was running out and instantly signaling danger or urgency, embedding itself into players' memories so deeply that even today a single melody can trigger nostalgia across generations. This taught the industry that audio is not decoration but an essential storytelling tool. Beyond mechanics and design, Super Mario Bros. Changed how people perceived video games culturally, because it helped shift gaming from something niche and experimental into something family-friendly, accessible, and universal, appealing to children, teenagers, and adults alike. It showed parents that games could be playful rather than violent, creative rather than chaotic, and skill-based rather than mindless, opening the door for gaming to enter living rooms around the world. Perhaps the most fascinating part is how Super Mario Bros. Created a shared language among players, because secrets like hidden blocks, warp zones, and shortcuts encouraged exploration, discussion, and experimentation, turning gaming into a social experience long before online multiplayer existed. Friends shared rumors, magazines printed maps, and playground legends were born, proving that mystery and discovery are powerful tools for long-term engagement. The legacy of Super Mario Bros. Can be seen everywhere today, from indie platformers that proudly reference its mechanics to massive, open-world games that still rely on the same principles of teaching feedback and player freedom that Mario introduced decades ago. Even genres that look completely different still follow rules established by a plumber in overalls, whether they realize it or not. What makes this story even more intriguing is that Super Mario Bros. Never tried to be revolutionary, because it simply aimed to be fun, intuitive, and polished, accidentally becoming the foundation upon which modern gaming was built. Its influence is so deep that many players don't notice it anymore, much like air, because when something becomes universal, it fades into the background of our expectations. In the end, Super Mario Bros. Didn't just change gaming forever by selling millions of copies or creating a famous mascot, but by teaching the world how games should feel, how they should guide players, how they should reward curiosity, and how simplicity can hide incredible depth. It transformed gaming from a fragile experiment into a lasting art form, shaping decades of creativity and innovation without ever needing to explain itself. If you enjoyed uncovering why Super Mario Bros. Truly changed gaming forever, make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a comment with your favorite Mario memory or theory, and share this video with someone who grew up jumping over Goombas, because your support helps keep these legendary stories alive and pixel perfect for the next generation.